Canada just pulled the plug. In 2025, the neighbor we once relied on for millions in tourism dollars is walking away, and the fallout is brutal. Fueled by Trump-era policies and rising cross-border tensions, Canadians are canceling trips in record numbers. From ski towns to seaside resorts, American states that once banked on loyal Canadian travelers are watching their tourism economies unravel. This isn't just a slowdown, it's a boycott with billion-dollar consequences. Which states are hurting most? We're counting down the 10 U.S. estates absolutely crushed by Canada's tourism boycott, starting with a state famous for lakes, forests, and now empty parking lots. Before we move on, hit the like button to boost this video in the algorithm and support our work. Number 10. Minnesota. Minnesota is no stranger to cold winters, but this economic freeze caught everyone off guard. In 2025, Canadian tourism to Minnesota has plummeted nearly 14%, according to new estimates from Explore Minnesota Tourism. The agency projects over $70 million in lost revenue as Canadian families skip their usual cabin trips and summer lake getaways. The backlash? It's deeply felt in border towns like International Falls and Warroad, where some businesses say more than half of their seasonal income came from Canadians. Hotel bookings are down, restaurant foot traffic is thinning, and local festivals are struggling to stay afloat without their northern guests. For a state where more than 50% of international visitors were Canadian, the impact isn't just financial, it's personal. Entire communities built around cross-border tradition are now feeling abandoned. And for Minnesota's tourism economy, this chill may only be the beginning. Number 9. North Dakota. Few states are as tightly woven into Canada's cross-border fabric as North Dakota. But in 2025, that link has frayed, and the economic sting is sharp. According to KFYR-TV, tourism officials in Bismarck confirm Canadian visits are down nearly 41% compared to last year. It's not just hotel bookings that are vanishing, it's shopping, dining, fuel stops, even sporting events. This was a border state symbiosis. Now, it's a slow bleed. The root cause? Canada's unofficial boycott of U.S. travel over political tensions and rhetoric. North Dakota, where towns like Pembina and Grand Forks once saw weekend waves of Canadian visitors, is now seeing silent highways. The ripple effect is severe for retail businesses that once depended on those quick cross-border runs. What makes the damage worse is the timing. North Dakota had just begun reinvesting in tourism infrastructure, with new regional campaigns targeting Alberta and Manitoba. That strategy has hit a wall. The international marketing dollars are burned, but the visitors are staying home. Some local leaders are pleading with federal officials to ease tensions and restore trust, but with national politics dominating headlines, the calls feel drowned out. And until the chill lifts, North Dakota's economic winter could drag on far longer than its brutal seasons. Number 8. Vermont. Picturesque, postcard-perfect Vermont has long been a favorite escape for Canadian tourists. But in 2025, the visitors have dried up, and it's taking a brutal toll. According to VT Digger, Vermont's tourism industry is experiencing its sharpest decline in cross-border visits since the early 2000s. Canadian traffic is down over 37%, and the local businesses in Burlington, Stowe, and Montpelier are feeling every percent of that drop. Canadians once flocked to Vermont for its ski resorts, farm-to-table dining, and scenic drives. But now, small inns and B&Bs are reporting occupancy rates below 40% during what should be peak season. The owner of a boutique hotel in Stowe summed it up best. It's like someone turned off the faucet. Trump's immigration rhetoric, combined with new passport and visa tightening rules, is being cited as a key deterrent. Many Canadians are simply opting to travel within their own country or into Europe instead. And the traditionally strong Quebec-Vermont corridor? All but frozen. State officials have tried to pivot with new digital campaigns aimed at domestic tourists, but the gap left by Canadians remains massive. Vermont's tourism is more than just economy, it's identity. And right now, that identity feels under siege. Before we reveal the next country, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Your support lets us keep exploring the untold stories and sharing content that truly matters. Number 7. Michigan. In Michigan, the fallout from Canada's tourism boycott is hitting home, hard. For decades, Canadian visitors have powered border economies from Windsor to Detroit, pumping millions into hotels, restaurants, and shopping centers. But now, a sudden drop in cross-border traffic is leaving business owners panicked. According to a 2025 AI Invest report, Canadian travel into Michigan is down over 42% compared to pre-boycott levels, and local chambers of commerce say it's costing the state nearly $700 million in lost revenue. The Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, once packed with weekend shoppers and leisure travelers, has seen traffic cut in half. Border towns like Port Huron and Sault Ste. Marie are especially vulnerable, where Canadian dollars once flowed freely. Now vacancy signs and shuttered storefronts dominate. The real kicker? Michigan wasn't just a pit stop, it was a destination. Golf resorts in the north, Ann Arbor's festivals, and even Detroit's downtown revitalization efforts were drawing more Canadians each year. But now, many Ontarians are staying home, or heading to friendlier destinations. State lawmakers have called on the federal government to address the diplomatic rift fueling the boycott. But so far, no clear plan has emerged. As one tourism director put it, "When Canada turns away, Michigan bleeds." Number 6. Arizona. Sunshine, desert beauty, and winter escapes once made Arizona a prime magnet for Canadian tourists, especially snowbirds fleeing harsh northern winters. But in 2025, a cloud has settled over this sunny retreat. A sharp decline in Canadian arrivals has left hotels half empty and RV parks eerily quiet. According to Travel and Tour World, the slump is directly tied to rising tensions over U.S. immigration policy and visa uncertainty. Scottsdale, Phoenix, and Tucson, once packed with Quebec and Alberta license plates, are seeing fewer seasonal bookings. Businesses that rely on winter influxes, golf courses, spas, and outdoor adventure companies are reporting up to 35% declines in revenue. Why? New U.S. immigration rules are making it harder and more expensive for Canadian retirees to stay long-term. The political rhetoric hasn't helped either. Many Canadians report feeling unwelcome or targeted by policies that seem increasingly hostile. Arizona's tourism officials are scrambling to reassure travelers, launching emergency marketing campaigns to win back Canadian confidence. But with word of mouth and news headlines working against them, the turnaround may not come fast enough. For now, the Arizona dream has dimmed, and for the businesses that depend on it, the outlook is getting hotter in all the wrong ways. Number 5. Florida. Florida, home to Disney World, endless beaches, and what used to be millions of Canadian tourists. But in 2025, the Sunshine State is dimming. According to an Al Jazeera fact check, Canadian tourism to Florida has plummeted by a staggering 80% this year alone. Let that sink in. What was once a cornerstone of Florida's winter economy has now nearly vanished. Hotels from Orlando to Miami are reporting record-low winter occupancy. Tour operators, cruise lines, and beachside retailers are seeing their revenues nosedive. Cities like Fort Lauderdale and Naples, once flooded with snowbirds from Ontario and Quebec, are eerily quiet. Why the sharp decline? Canadian media outlets and influencers have called for an organized boycott, citing Trump-era immigration rhetoric and newly reinstated border screening policies. Canadians feel unwelcome and they're taking their travel dollars elsewhere. The Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association estimates losses in the billions, warning that hospitality sector jobs are at serious risk. This isn't just a diplomatic cold shoulder, it's an economic punch in the gut. If the boycott holds through next season, Florida could lose more than just tourism dollars. It could see lasting damage to its global brand as a vacation destination. Number 4. Nevada. Las Vegas thrives on international tourism, but in 2025, Canadian tourists aren't showing up to the party. According to Fox 5 Las Vegas, small businesses on and off the Strip are seeing up to a 30% decline in Canadian patronage. That's no minor drop. It's a destabilizing blow to a city that lives and dies on visitor volume. High rollers from Toronto and Vancouver are skipping the casinos. Family travelers from Alberta are choosing Europe instead. And Canadian conventions that once booked entire hotels are now pulling out. Why? One word: perception. Canadian travelers report feeling scrutinized at customs and alienated by the political tone coming out of the U.S. Capitol. And when perception shifts, spending shifts with it. Nevada's tourism board has already slashed marketing budgets for Canada, pivoting focus to domestic audiences and alternative international markets. But it may not be enough. Unless federal policies and the rhetoric behind them dramatically change, Las Vegas may remain a no-go zone for one of its most loyal visitor bases. Number 3. Washington. When most people think of Canada to U.S. travel, they picture border towns, not tech hubs. But Washington state has been rocked by a nearly 50% drop in Canadian tourism since early 2024. That's not just missed ski season profits in Spokane or ferry rides in the San Juan Islands, it's a body blow to the entire regional economy. According to the Washington Tourism Alliance, cross-border traffic through Blaine and Sumas has cratered. Hotels in Bellingham report the lowest Canadian occupancy rates since 2009. Even popular destinations like Leavenworth are reporting a 40% decline in Canadian bookings. Local businesses are pleading for state-level aid. Wine country lodges, resort towns along the Olympic Peninsula, and cross-border shopping centers say revenue has fallen off a cliff. One business owner told the Seattle Times, "Canadians used to be our weekend lifeline. Now we just wait. What's changed?" Many Canadian travelers cite political tensions, stricter customs inspections, and a sense that they're no longer welcome. The boycott is emotional, and that makes it harder to fix. Number 2, New York. New York isn't just a global city, it's a Canadian favorite, or at least it was. In 2025, border data shows an astonishing 64% decline in Canadian arrivals into upstate hubs like Buffalo and Niagara Falls. And the damage doesn't stop at the state line. The Niagara Falls Tourism Alliance says the area lost over $280 million in Canadian visitor spending this past year alone. Hotel chains are slashing staff, and tour operators are pivoting to other international markets to survive. Even Manhattan isn't immune. Broadway theaters, Fifth Avenue retailers, and Midtown restaurants have all reported slower sales on long weekends that were once dominated by Canadian foot traffic. The message from our neighbors up north? We'll go to Europe instead. Political fatigue is a huge factor. In a recent survey by Travel Canada, nearly 60% of Canadians cited Trump-era hostility as a reason for skipping trips south. That emotional undercurrent is costing New York dearly. What was once an easy weekend escape has turned into a calculated political decision, and the Empire State is feeling every dollar of that backlash. Number 1, Maine. No state has felt the sting of Canada's boycott quite like Maine. In 2025, the state saw an estimated 84% drop in Canadian visitors compared to 2023, according to the Wall Street Journal. That's devastating for a state where more than 1/3 of all international tourism dollars come from Canadians alone. Towns like Bar Harbor and Old Orchard Beach, once bustling with French-speaking families and Quebec license plates, now look like ghost towns in peak season. Local businesses, motels, lobster shacks, souvenir shops have reported revenue losses as high as 60%. Even the Maine Office of Tourism has sounded the alarm, calling this the worst Canadian travel season in decades. The WSJ reports that some business owners are considering closing their doors permanently if Canadian foot traffic doesn't recover by 2026. From border states to coastal cities, the boycott has shown just how fragile U.S.-Canada tourism ties really are, and how quickly political decisions can ripple into economic chaos. And while Trump has doubled down, Canadian travelers are speaking with their wallets. So, what does all this mean? When Canada turns its back, it's not just about vacation plans, it's about livelihoods. Restaurants close, hotels sit empty, entire communities suffer. If this boycott drags on into 2026, the U.S. economy could lose over $4 billion, according to Forbes. What's your take? Should states push back against federal policies that hurt local tourism? Or is this just the new normal in global politics? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns on how geopolitics is hitting home. See you in the next video.